Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. Well, that day has finally come. It's been percolating since, I think, 2016, the day when the Democrat Socialists have finally set up their impeachment hearing, inquiry, inquisition, whatever you want to call it. And when did we all of a sudden appoint Congressman Adam Schiff as the Emperor of Capitol Hill? I have never seen someone that could, first and foremost, create their own rules for what is supposed to be a constitutional proceeding. But then, if it's not really a constitutional proceeding, I guess the Democrat Socialists can do whatever they want. I always thought that, according to our Constitution, an impeachment hearing, investigation, inquiry, inquisition was supposed to be something handled by the Judiciary Committee. So why is it being handled by the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence? I don't think that there was anything classified or intelligence related to this. And after all, we're talking about impeaching, articles of impeachment of a sitting president. So why is it that the Democrats once again get to do whatever they want to do to achieve the end state, the goals, objectives that they want, which is to, well, conduct a coup and remove a duly elected president of these United States of America just because of one thing? They didn't like the results of the election in 2016. But let us never forget what Texas Congressman Al Green said.
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
So this is something they've been after the entire time. As a matter of fact, as we said, it was something they have been after even before the president was seated. And we can always go back and remember what, well, that congressional representative Rashida Tlaib said.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the motherfucker.
Expletive deleted. So how did we get to this point? How did we get to a point where we have someone that is sitting, presiding over a quote unquote impeachment inquiry hearing inquisition that he himself has, well, I would say perjured himself as the chairman of that same House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence? We all have had the opportunity to download this transcript and read over it ourselves. But think about Chairman Adam Schiff. He didn't read the actual transcript. He interpreted it and used his own words. And of course, the complicit media went along with it. And, well, they tried to make it seem as that was the ground truth when it was not.
My summary of the president's call was meant to be at least part in parody. The fact that that's not clear is a separate problem in and of itself.
And why is it that all of a sudden we don't need to hear from the whistleblower? Because Adam Schiff came out and said we must hear from the whistleblower. But I think now that we know that the whistleblower met with staffers from Adam Schiff's office.
So we talked for a couple minutes last night. He expressed regret for not having been more clear in his wording.
What did he mean?
He said at the time, when he was saying that, obviously we now know that the whistleblower had approached his staff, but there wasn't 100% certainty that the whistleblower who had approached his staff was the same one who was behind the actual complaint. There was a suspicion it was, but there wasn't 100% certainty.
He doesn't want us to hear from the whistleblower now. We don't really need a whistleblower. We have the transcript. But the truth is that we know where the real corruption comes from. That corruption comes from, yes, the Obama administration, specifically Vice President Joe Biden. Why is it that the progressive socialist left does not want to know anything about the real quid pro quo in all of this? The real extortion. And how interesting it is that all of a sudden the leftists, their media allies, are coming out and all of them are preaching and using the same word now, extortion. I guess that Latin quid pro quo thing is a little bit too intellectually challenging for them. So when you consider what Joe Biden did, well, I think he threatened the attorney general to stop the prosecution there in Ukraine of the company that was being investigated because his son was getting boatloads of money for doing nothing.
And I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Dude, I wish I could get $50,000 a month to sit on the board of a natural gas company in the Ukraine and don't have a freaking clue about natural gas in the Ukraine. But, that's not something that the left wants to talk about. That's the real corruption. They would be more than happy for us to go ahead and send taxpayer-funded money to anyone, regardless of the corruption. But then let's think about it. Why didn't the left say anything when it was President Barack Obama and his own Secretary of State, John Kerry, that were using taxpayer-funded money to undermine the election of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? Think about the fact that Islamic Jihad is shooting rockets and missiles into southern Israel. Well, back during the time when Barack Obama was president, he threatened Israel to cut off supply of Hellfire missiles if they did not stop attacking Hamas, a known Islamic terrorist organization. And Israel just so happens to be our best ally in the Middle East. Why is it that when Barack Obama was only sending MREs and socks to the Ukraine, nobody said anything? I don't remember Adam Schiff saying a word, or Nancy Pelosi. But now all of a sudden we're sending aid to the Ukraine, but, well, by golly, Oscar, you didn't send it fast enough or in time enough. You were asking questions about our own corruption. I don't want to see us in the United States of America live in some East German Stasi state. But that's what we're getting to. When people can leverage the power of government to do whatever they want, to make up their own rules instead of following our Constitution. It is no different from when the Obama administration, in conjunction with Hillary Clinton's campaign, they used the FISA court under the Patriot Act to spy and conduct surveillance against American citizens and a presidential candidate. Is this the America that we want to live in? That's really what we're looking at today. Anyone can be drugged before them, to be taken down, to be, made victims of their tyranny and their injustice. That's the real lesson that we have to learn from these impeachment hearings, inquiry, inquisition. So let's all come together and let's all use the same verbiage. This is not a hearing. It's not an inquiry. It's a Democrat Socialist Impeachment Inquisition. And ladies and gentlemen, if they will do this to a sitting United States president, just imagine if we give them power in 2020, what they'll do to any of us.